Good morning, students. I am Dr. Krishnapriya, Department of Botany, Assistant Professor, JJ College of Arts and Science. Now we are talking about centrifuge and centrifugal techniques. Okay, centrifuge and centrifugal force. What is meant by, first of all, we see as what is a centrifuge. Centrifuge is one of a machine device is used for the sedimentation of solid particles in a suspension. It separates the solid particles and the liquid particles within the axis of rotation. Okay, centrifuge is a separation technique commonly used in a clinical research and research laboratories. Centrifuge tubes are cylinder-shaped calibrate glass containers and it fit into the centrifugal slots of analysis, and the containers it fit into the centrifugal slots separation of various materials. Usually laboratory techniques test solid and liquid or immiscible. In centrifuge have two types of plates, two types of force or adapt. First of all, centripetal force and centrifugal force. Centripetal force is running up by inward force. You have the rotation of axis, and centrifugal force is outer force. First, we see about how to use a centrifuge. That is a procedure of a centrifuge. Procedure of centrifuge. Switch. First, we goes to laboratory or a research center. We switch on the centrifuge, and then the sample of the centrifuge is taken in a centrifuge tube and are placed opposite to each other. Not to put a 1, 2, 3 and order wise, we should put a centrifugation tubes or opposite direction of each centrifuge force for equation. Okay, centrifuge tubes are filled the 3/4 portion of tube, not to be filled full filling. Lid, and then lid of the centrifuge is closed, and RPM or CF time and also set properly, and then close the lid. Speed is slowly increased when it reaches to the required speed. The time of a centrifugation is fixed. When the time is over, the centrifugation stopped it slowly. When it is completely stopped, let us opened and samples are taken out. In the types of centrifuge, they have three types of rotors. In centrifuge have three types of rotors in the axis of rotation. First one is a vertical tube rotors and fixed angle rotor and a swinging bucket rotor. What is a rotor? And its tubes are setting as a fixed. First, fixed angle rotors, we see the slanting type of tube fixation, and vertical types of tube rotors, we fix centrifugation tubes are vertically in portion, and swinging bucket rotor, fixed angle rotor. Fixed angle rotor tube will be fixed in a position of a specific slanting position throughout the process. And vertical tube rotors, in these rotors tube will be fixed position, but it is axis will be parallel to the axis of rotation throughout the process. Swinging bucket rotor. In this type of rotor, at rest of the tube axis will remain parallel to axis of a rotation. During centrifugation, the tube swings and will have an angle of 90 degree. 90-degree angle of axis is rotations. In these rotors, in the container, that container consists of aluminum alloy and titanium alloy have been used. And then types of centrifuges. Many types of centrifuges are having in laboratories. Now we are see about just 4 types of centrifugations. Okay, the first one is small bench centrifuge, and then large capacity refrigerator centrifuge, that is called as a cool centrifuge. and a high speed refrigerator centrifuge and ultra centrifuges. Ultra centrifuges are having two types, that is preparative centrifuge and analytic centrifuge. And then small bench centrifuge. In this type of centrifuge, we can sedimentation a small amount of materials in this centrifuge, and its RPM is 4000 to 6000 and RCF is equal to 3000 to 7000. What is called RPM and RCF? RPM is a rotation revolution per minute and RCF is equal to relative centrifugal force. And sedimentation. In this type of small bench centrifuge, we sedimentation at erythrocytes and yeast cells. And a large capacity refrigerator centrifuge. What is a refrigerator? Cooling. Large capacity refrigerator centrifuge. These have a refrigerator rotor chamber. In the rotor chamber, it is have a refrigerator cooling and vary only the maximum carrying capacity. Collect substance that sediments quickly. Its sedimentation at substances are very quickly compared than the small bench centrifuge. And RPM is equal to 6000 and RCF is equal to 6500. In sedimentation, materials are yeast cells, RBC, nuclei and chloroplast. And then high speed refrigerator centrifuge. What is known about high speed refrigerator centrifuge means high speed, the speed is high, and refrigerator centrifuge, cooling type of centrifuge. The maximum rotor speed. In this centrifuge type, maximum rotor speed is having in this type of centrifuge. RPM is 25,000 and RCF is equal to 60,000. And this centrifuge, this cannot generate a sufficient centrifugal force to sediment viruses or smaller organelles such as ribosomes. And then preparative centrifuge. And preparative centrifuge and analytic centrifuge comes under the ultra centrifuges. In this centrifuge, the temperature monitoring system is more sophisticated than similar instruments, and over speed control system also having in this. Safety reason, rotor chamber is enclosed in heavy armor plating, and in this type of preparative centrifuge, RPM is equal to 80,000 and RCF is equal to 6 lakhs gram. Analytical centrifuge. In this type of centrifuge, have a rotor containing in a productive armored chamber which is refrigerated and evacuated. In this centrifuge, RPM is equal to 70,000 and RCF is equal to 5,000 lakh gram, 5 lakh gram. Safety rules of centrifuge. What is the safety rules? Before we using a centrifuge, we follow these rules of we follow these rules. First one is centrifuge should be placed on the rubber mat, not only the floor. The centrifuge should be never fully filled. It's filled only 3/4 portion of centrifuge tubes. The centrifuge tubes be equally balanced by placing in the centrifuge. We should put the centrifuge tubes in a balanced type for opposite types. If you have 4 tubes in your hand, means you should put 1, 2, 3 or 4. It is not a correct position. You should put opposite direction for 4 sides, balanced to each. Crack centrifuge tubes should be never used. You should not use cracking tubes of centrifuges. This is very important in it. And thank you, students. Thank you very much. Wish you all the success in your future life. Once again, I thank you. Thank you for watching my video. Thank you very much.